What's up, y'all? It's your boy, the Toothless Wonder, back with another video. I be trying a whole bunch of stuff, you know what I mean? And really, I'm not looking to, go. Now, if it happens, great, cool, whatever. That'd be a surprise. But I'm not really the YouTuber, you know what I'm saying? Like I said before, this ends up being more of like a video journal of my thoughts, feelings, circumstance. Maybe I help someone or, report live from the battlefield here in Babylon, you know what I mean? As someone who's, striving for righteousness, but, still struggling in some areas. But, my heart really do be pure, you know what I'm saying? And I've always been like a visionary, or even when I was little, like, I just kind of felt different, from the world. And I kind of knew, I was going to have a hard road because certain stuff I'm not doing, or I to to seemingly get ahead, quote unquote. I'm not willing to do certain things, or it's hard for me to fake it, and you know what I mean. The isolation, and you know, struggling with addiction, abandonment, codependency. These longings for, or that, and I understand I'm very idealistic. So like in the second part of Serenity Prayer, it talks about taking the world as it is, not as I would have it. So I understand all that, but I tend to lean towards or get caught up in my thoughts about why is it like this, why I gotta do this, why people just can't be this way, and I've gotten better with it for navigation purposes, but it still vexes me, as it should. Like if you live in this Babylonian culture and you don't see nothing wrong with it, I think something wrong with you. Or at the very least, you just going along to get along and hoping things get better when you see them trending worse, so there's no catalyst that would make it better. But again, and a lot of time, I'll piggyback because I don't really be knowing what to cover because I be having so many thoughts and feelings about things, and they all get all, jumbled up together like spaghetti noodles in a bowl. That'd be hard to just stay on one topic because even though they're seemingly all unrelated, they're all related to wickedness and evil and where this is going, right? Uh, but I heard, a video, and I've really been in this mode of like not really wanting to talk, wanting to do. And I'm noticing with, the few homeboys, some may still be where they at with it. They talk this good game, but you don't see any evidence of what they're talking about. Hence, that's why they talk so much and hope, and they might not even consciously realize it to distract you from the fact that you don't do anything you talk about. You know what I mean? So I just keep talking. But typically, as I've understood it from my own personal life, once you really start trying to put in work, you ain't got time to talk. And if you put in enough work, the work you done will actually speak for you. That way you ain't got to keep running your mouth. You know what I mean? And that's just where I'm at with it. Like, and I think I'll post something on Facebook later about this. Of course, I already know the response I'm going to get. But we routinely talk about the problems, right? And and peddling the problems and regurgitating those things. And I felt like that when I was younger. Like it didn't make any sense to me. Like, okay, that's the problem. Okay, but when we gonna get together and come up with a solution? Why can't we do that? And then that's just like, it seems simple, right? But then that's just like, nah, that's just not the, or you don't get no definitive answer, or you know, you kind of get ostracized or the cold shoulder. And you when you're young, you're like, I'm just trying to help, or I'm just, like, why we can't do that? Why is that? You know what I'm saying? And with the economic state of America, the border crisis, inflation, economy, AI, the destruction of the nuclear family, you know, rampant drug addiction. I'll put that in there. Uh, the dependence on psychotropic medications. You know what I mean? Like, this isn't a healthy society by a long shot. Narcissism, self-absorbed, but the word speaks of all this, right? Like, we see all this. It's right in front of our face, but somehow we act like we can't see it or don't want to see it, address it, whatever. But when do we come, like any sane, rational person throughout history will see the fault and then attempt to do something to either one, combat it, or two, mitigate the brunt of what's coming. You know what I'm saying? It's like I don't know. This whole matrix analogy comparison is real. I refuse to this point believe that, especially with the age of information that we're in, even if you're wherever you're at with it, you'll still run across the information. You know what I'm saying? The devaluation of the dollar, so on. But nobody's doing anything about it, and it seems like we're getting more dug into. Martin Luther King, the burning house that Martin Luther King, integrated us into. That's got to be a mental health disorder in and of itself. And I always thought, again, when I was younger, so I was on to something even then, like land and resources. You know what I'm saying? Passing down inheritance. Not necessarily dollar bills, but skills, property, real tangible assets like gold, weaponry, you know what I'm saying? Knowledge, wisdom. That's why our families are so whatever and then kind of forced into the system because more oftentimes than not, we don't get an inheritance to build upon. We're starting from minus zero in a lot of cases. Or someone such as myself, who's 41 years old and just now within the last couple of years becoming functional. You know what I'm saying? Or being able to make steps to operate in my vision. You know what I mean? Do people have any other aspirations than to attend, a worldly church and go work for somebody else? That's not living, and nor has it ever been. That's why I always had problems with it. Not necessarily working, because my work ethic's stupendous. I've never been fired from a job. Not that it means anything. I always quit, and they hire me back. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm a team player. You know what I'm saying? But I just see this isn't going to get, or what I do now is, I forgot the term is called, and they say like the super duper people, which aren't super duper to me, subscribe to this where you'll go up in something, but you can only go up but so far in anything. And when it starts to trend down, because you've maxed it out, you then jump to something else off of, what the foundation of that, what you built, and then go up that way. Like take fake Jigga Man, right? He goes up in drug dealing, but realizes, there's only a shelf life for that. But he uses what he built off of drug dealing to jump into music. He realized the music ain't gonna take him to so far. That goes wherever. He's capped that. Then he jumps to business. Then he jumps to, whatever, right? Does anybody have any greater goal? And then here's the thing that I'm saying, as far as online with brothers who are like mine, whether personally or a collective, you'll then get talked about. Everything's so inverted. Like the people who do nothing will talk about the stuff you're actually doing when they don't have the cojones to even muster, or the mind, so the brain ain't even wired up right to even make an attempt at it. But they'll shame you like they burdening you. But of course, more often we don't look at ourselves as high and mighty or anything like that. But these people beneath us, that's like the employee telling the owner how to run a company. When if you sat in his seat for one day, you wouldn't be able to handle it. It's easy to say what you should do when when your boot's not on the ground. It's easy for, let's say, a Stephen A. Smith to critique someone's basketball game, but he can't get out there and do it. You know what I mean? It's I don't know. That's just something like just when are we going to implement the solutions? And ultimately, you see the other nations of the world, Hispanics, they come together regardless of issues, personal beliefs, whatever, because they understand, the power in numbers, and you can do more in a group than you can individually, and whatever. And also understand we're like kind of bred not to do that, but just because we're bred not, like necessity should be able to breed us doing that. And I think we'll be forced to do it, but I don't know how efficient it'll be because we have no track record of it. And to be honest, and I struggle with this, like I want to build with, people of the Most High. But then you get caught in these religious debates that stops the actual work being done because we want to debate instead of work. You know what I mean? So now I've kind of transitioned to, which I've never been the entrepreneurial type. But just because I haven't been something don't mean I can't become it. And now I'm starting to make connections more business wise. Okay, I'm into solar now. So my personal beliefs have nothing to do with the business. You know solar, you have connections. I know solar. I have, things I can bring to the table. Let's do business. You know what I'm saying? It's probably actually business is probably better than, and not even in the capitalistic kind of version, but when you do business, there's clear uh parameters of what's required of the parties involved, and both parties have a vested interest in accomplishing a goal. So now I'm more business minded, and not even in the sense of finance. Business minded, excuse me, business minded in the sense of getting things done. Because we can talk all day long, but if ain't nothing getting done, nothing get done. And then what we gonna do? Talk some more about who didn't do what? You know what I mean? But that's a quick one, man. I'ma holler at y'all.